You study vocabulary lists for hours, but when the test comes, you blank out on words you knew yesterday. Sounds familiar? It's not your fault. Traditional language classes are designed to teach grammar rules, not actual fluency. But here's the mind-blowing part. Japanese students routinely score perfect marks on English exams while also mastering Chinese and Korean on the side. So what's their secret? Your language teachers never told you this, but the reason you're struggling isn't because you lack talent. It's because you've been using the wrong methods. Western language learning focuses on memorizing grammar rules and vocabulary lists, but your brain treats this like cramming for a math test. You're studying about the language instead of absorbing it naturally. Be honest. How many times have you spent hours memorizing verb conjugations only to forget them completely during the actual exam? That's not your fault. It's neuroscience. There's something called the retention gap, and it's the silent killer of language learning. You can memorize words perfectly in isolation, but can't remember them when you actually need them. But what if you could hack your brain to think in another language? Japanese students have been doing it for decades, not by studying harder, but by studying differently. You don't need to spend 10,000 hours grinding grammar books. I've already researched the methods for you. Here are the 10 proven techniques they use to achieve conversational fluency in record time. Let's break them down. 1. Sentence collecting. The samurai blueprint method. Most people learn words in isolation, then wonder why they can't form sentences during exams. Japanese students do something different. They collect entire sentences from textbooks and analyze them as complete units. Not individual vocabulary, but whole thoughts with perfect grammar. So how does this work? Simple. When they encounter a sentence they almost understand, they copy it, study it, and practice it until it becomes automatic. This teaches grammar naturally through patterns rather than confusing rules. Your brain learns to recognize correct structures the same way you recognize familiar faces. Western students memorize word lists. Japanese students absorb sentence blueprints. 2. Speed matching. The rhythm warrior technique. Most students speak new languages slowly and carefully, which makes them sound robotic. Japanese students focus on matching the natural speed and rhythm of native speakers from day one, even if they don't understand every word yet. So how do you build natural rhythm? Play any native audio and talk along to their voice and speech patterns. Focus only on matching their tempo and pauses. Don't worry about perfect pronunciation. Just get the rhythm right first. This trains your brain to think at native speed instead of translating slowly. Western students speak carefully and sound foreign. Japanese students speak rhythmically and sound natural. 3. Digital immersion, the environment shift. Most students study their target language for 1 hour, then spend the other 23 hours in their native language. Japanese students flip this ratio by transforming their entire digital world. Phone settings, social media, even their calculator. Everything switches to the target language. So how do you create this digital bubble? Start small. Change your phone's language setting today. Tomorrow, switch your social media. By the end of the week, your entire digital life operates in your target language. This forces your brain to stop translating and start thinking directly in the new language. When everything around you is in Spanish, your brain stops fighting it and starts accepting it as normal. Western students take 1 language class per day. Japanese students live in the language. 4. Difficulty laddering, the mountain climber approach. Most language courses jump from beginner to intermediate with no bridge, leaving students confused and overwhelmed. Japanese students create their own difficulty progression, starting with content that's 80% comprehensible and gradually increasing complexity. Children's books, then teen novels, then advanced textbooks. So how do you build this ladder? Simple. Find material where you understand most of it but not everything. Read for 20 minutes, then move to something slightly harder the next day. This keeps you in the sweet spot where learning actually happens. Western students fight through advanced material and burnout. Japanese students climb steadily and never hit walls. 5. Mistake hunting, the samurai error method. Western students get embarrassed by mistakes and avoid speaking until they feel ready. Japanese students do the opposite. They deliberately seek out mistakes. Every error tells them exactly what they haven't mastered yet. So they treat mistakes like treasure maps to improvement. This concept is perfectly explained by Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman. In his book Thinking Fast and Slow, he explains that our brains learn best from feedback loops. He shows that mistakes provide the most valuable learning data. That's why Japanese students embrace errors as the fastest path to improvement. Here's the mindset shift. When you make a mistake, you've just discovered a gap in your knowledge that you can now fill. Most people avoid situations where they might mess up. Japanese students chase those situations because that's where the real learning happens. Fear of imperfection kills more language dreams than lack of talent. 6. Review scheduling, the timing approach. While Western students review vocabulary randomly whenever they feel like it, Japanese students follow a rigid review schedule regardless of how they feel. Day 1. Learn new words. Day 2. Review yesterday's words. Day 4. Review again. Day 8. Final review. No exceptions, no skipping. So how do you make this automatic? Simple. Write the review dates directly on your flashcards or notes when you first learn them. Don't trust your memory to know when to review. Trust the system. This removes all guesswork and ensures you never let important vocabulary slip away. Western students review when they remember to. Japanese students review because the schedule says so. 7. Mental preparation, the Zen clearing ritual. Before each study session, Japanese students sit in complete mental stillness for exactly 5 minutes. No music, no planning, no reviewing previous material. Just emptiness. This isn't meditation, it's mental preparation for language absorption. So, what does this look like in practice? Set a timer for 5 minutes, sit in your study chair, and do absolutely nothing. No checking your phone, no organizing materials, no thinking about what you'll study. Just sit. This clears away mental clutter and primes your brain for new information. When your mind is truly quiet, new material can enter without competing with internal chatter. Western students jump straight into lessons with busy minds. Japanese students create mental space first, then fill it with perfect pronunciation and grammar patterns. 8. Speed drilling, the deadline warrior method. Japanese students don't practice languages leisurely. They artificially create urgency during every study session. They give themselves exactly 20 minutes to master 10 new vocabulary words or 15 minutes to write a perfect paragraph. They create tight deadlines with no extensions. Here's what happens under time pressure. Your brain shifts into efficiency mode and stops overthinking every detail. When you only have 20 minutes, there's no time to doubt yourself or chase perfection. Your mind focuses purely on absorption and execution. The sweet spot is making the deadlines aggressive but not impossible to achieve. 9. Context learning, the cultural warrior approach. Language isn't just words and grammar, it's culture, humor, and social understanding. Japanese students study the why behind expressions, not just the what. They learn when to be formal, how to show respect, and what's considered appropriate in different situations. So how do you master context? Every time you learn a new phrase, ask yourself, when would someone actually use this? Is it formal or casual? What situation calls for this expression? This prevents the robotic speech that makes textbook learners sound unnatural during oral exams. 10. Backward analysis, the reverse engineering method. Most people translate from their native language into the target language, which creates awkward, unnatural sentences. Japanese students do the opposite. They take perfect sentences in the target language and work backward to understand how native speakers actually think. Here's the process. Grab a perfect sentence from your textbook and ask yourself, why did they structure it this way? This method rewires your brain to think in the target language's logic rather than forcing your native language's patterns onto foreign grammar. You start to understand how native speakers naturally construct thoughts. Western students force their thinking patterns onto new languages. Japanese students adapt their thinking to match native patterns. The choice is yours. Think about the last time you truly mastered something, maybe a video game or a sport. You didn't just read the rules, you practiced, failed, adjusted, and improved. That's exactly how real language learning works. Language learning shouldn't be a struggle. It should be smart, efficient, and powerful. So here's the choice. Go back to traditional study methods and wonder why you still can't speak after 2 years. Or start using these Japanese methods today. The top 1% won't just see this and move on, they'll take action. The question is, will you? Now it's your turn. Try one of these techniques today and let me know which one works best for you in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on accelerated learning and productivity. See you in the next one.